Well, welcome everyone. My name is Ruth Ann Rose of Rose Marketing Solutions, and I'm just so thankful that you are here today. Today I have my guest, Regent Ducas of Power Web Video, and just really excited to have him here. Gosh, Regent and I have known each other for actually
Too long.
how many years?
Too long.
Exactly. But I know you've always got, strong advice for people as far as video messaging and things of that nature. So I really wanted to have you here today to talk to us about, what was Power Web Videos doing before COVID? Obviously, this time is stressful for many of us. It's a hard time. I certainly want to give my thoughts and prayers to everybody that's suffering at this time, because it is a difficult situation in our world. And that's why we're hoping to deliver some advice or some thoughts that could make a difference for businesses. So Regent, what was your business like before COVID? What kind of business model did you follow? And then I really want to hear how it's shifted. And because you are a video guru, Emmy Award winner, as we can see in the background there.
Oh, are those there?
Oh, you humble guy.
I didn't even realize those were there.
Of course you didn't. But I think people would really enjoy hearing from you several points on, what makes a good video at this point? What points should they be hitting? So I've left you a lot of questions here.
Sure. Well, pre-COVID-19, my business model was to really target certain industries and try to become an expert at those industries. In reality, any business online needs videos. If you have a website, there's no more powerful way to communicate your message than through videos. And we could always talk a little bit about what makes a good video, but really, so my business model was targeting those industries. Well, preschools, which is how we met, was one of those industries, and so I performed videos and had a video package for preschools all over the Southeast, actually all over the country, and then I decided to target a couple more industries, and lo and behold, I targeted assisted living and senior living facilities, and boy, what a great choice that was. And so, I started working with assisted living I'm based out of Florida, so the Florida Assisted Living Association, the Texas Healthcare Association, Georgia Healthcare Association, everything in the Southeast. I joined those associations. I went to the conferences. I was not a keynote speaker, but a speaker at several of the conferences about the power of using videos and creating a video strategy. So all that was relatively working well. I only took on, my business model is only taking on X amount of clients per year, maybe 15 or 20 clients. It's me. And so I really try to give clients all of me. And so I try not to get too crazy with it. And then, so when COVID-19 hit, obviously, and to this day as we speak, I can't walk into an assisted living facility. I can't walk into a senior living facility. I can talk to them, but really doesn't meet my personal business any good. So a couple ways I've shifted is obviously shifting away a little bit from trying to find maybe a different niche. But I didn't just try to start a whole new different niche. The first thing I did is just went back and looked at my client list. So even though those niches are important and built my business, I still have, I've created videos for pretty much every industry out there. I've created some videos for them. So I actually went back to that client list and looked and said, who non-assisted living, who can I call upon? Who can I touch base with? Who do I think might be ready for more videos, updated videos? And I went that route and said, let's take a look at that list, made those phone calls, reached out to them, and was able to secure more work that way. Yeah, it's time, and let's do that, and let's do this. And then also, it's never been more important. Videos have just never been more important in COVID-19. I just think there's singularly nothing more important than being as transparent as you can be with your potential customer base on what you are doing to make your workplace, to make your schools, your senior living facilities, or your plants. What are you doing to make them safe? And on that note, I've had a couple clients reach out to me and say, hey, we need to create COVID-19 video. We need to create. The GE wind turbine plant here in Pensacola was one of them. It was sent to all the GE plants around the world, and their mission. This wasn't a client thing. This was actually an internal video that we did, and they wanted to share with everybody their best practices, what they've been doing, so maybe another plant could learn just one little tidbit about what they're doing. And it was really enjoyed doing the videos. Went in there. They're doing so many different things differently. And I think most businesses are. They're doing things differently. Whether you're an AC contractor, a landscaper out there, whether you're running car washes, whether you're doing, whatever you're doing, you've got to be doing differently a little bit, to reassure me, the consumer, that it's okay to go visit your business or actually have you in my house. Because as we know, it just continues to spread. So it's just so important to do it. And so I did that, I did that. And then another thing are all the conferences that have been canceled. Mm-hmm. And so if you're out there and you're an event planner, or your conference has been canceled, or maybe you're the head of an association, a lot of people are turning to virtual conferences, right? You start seeing that everywhere now. And it really depends on the participation of attendees and how is this broadband working today. Well, I did with the John Paul II Healing Center in Tallahassee. They had a big, really in-depth conference, a healing conference, and they were going to do it virtually, live. But there's still a lot of uncertainty about, a virtual conference works live if I have good broadband, if you have good broadband, if nobody, there's just so many variables to really making that work as good as you can make it work. And so what we did instead is we recorded 9 hours worth of talks. And this was a week-long conference. Each talk was an hour long. There were 2 talks per day. And then there was a lot of different stuff happening throughout the day. So we kind of recreated the conference, but through these videos. Another very powerful way. So, those are people that kind of came to me and said, we need to create these things. Now I think it's even gotten even tougher because as we thought maybe going away, it just continues to get into more of society, and there are more cases and everything else. So recently, and I think maybe if you're watching this and you're a business owner, what can I do? It's not about not doing videos. It's about just doing them and not really be overly concerned with quality is important, but all of the minor details. I just had a client, actually wasn't a client. He's a client I called upon before, a customer I called upon before, who was interested in doing videos. And he wrote me an email and said, hey, I know I really want to do videos with you, but right now, you can't come into our ALF. So I put together this video that just in my iPhone. I walked around and did this and that. I know you're going to laugh. I know it's rudimentary. I know it doesn't look great, but could you maybe, could you edit this into something, and could you voice it over? And so that way I can send it to, because even in those facilities, people who are interested in placing someone, they can't even go and tour. They can't just go in for a tour. It's kind of crazy. So I said, absolutely. And so I think it's really important to kind of say, I'm going to do this, whether it's with your own iPhone, whether it's with, there's some best practices, but at the end of the day, it's just about getting your message out. And in COVID-19 visually. So if you're really wiping down doorknobs and you're doing that 5 times a day, or every time somebody walks through, somebody's assigned to do the doorknob and stuff like that, re-emphasize that. You can send it out in an email, you can send it out in a text, you can send it whatever, but video is what people are going to watch, and it's what they're going to remember. So if you're out there, get that iPhone out, show people, if you're not too savvy in editing, hopefully somebody on staff can do something in editing. If not, then you call me or call another video person and say, hey, you know what, could you edit this for me real quick? It's not that much, budget-wise, it could run with editing and voiceover $400 or $500, which is a lot less than having people come out and do everything for you. So I think that's really important, but not taking a step back, not just waiting for it to end, but being proactive, because your business has to continue.
Right.
And I think the more you can make me, the consumer, at ease, the more I can think, okay, you know what, they're really doing everything they can. I think that's a very powerful message to get out there to people.
I agree. And I know that's, you've got such a great experience with all of that. I know personally working with you on some videos, you've always made people feel comfortable and given lots of good direction. So I really thank you for that advice. So any part of this business model that you've shifted to, do you think that you will continue to keep after COVID?
Yeah, well, I think, so just building on that one little part, the other thing I think also as business owners, small business owners and people is getting your message out with the different things you're doing. So I'm sharing a little bit more, there's some clients I work with that for instance, GE, that's an internal video, right? I mean, it's not really for me to kind of, but I've made it to where I can edit down a little something and just really tell people what you're doing. So I think it's important to revisit your social media channels, revisit your commitment to them. Not necessarily, I've had LinkedIn and Twitter and, I do all of that, but probably not as much as I should. So I've kind of rededicated myself to say, okay, I'm going to share with it. Hey folks, if you're, so I shared the conference one and I shared the GE one, and I'm about to share the COVID, the assisted living one. So really getting out there and making sure that people understand what you're doing, and then also I think as a business owner is not trying, and this may hopefully not come across the wrong way, but not trying to take advantage of COVID-19, right? I mean, not, reality are people are hurting, lots of business owners are hurting. They may have PPP money right now or small business loan money right now, but that's not going to be there forever. So I'm also not trying to beat anybody down. I'm not trying to say, hey, now, you really got to do this now. If you don't do it now, you're never going to, I think if you can get out that message in your own social media channels, that it will spread in the industry. It will spread, to that model, I think, as well as like I said about the conferences. Turning to that. So I'm looking at a couple more conferences, about shifting, just maybe reaching out to a couple of them and sharing what I did with them. With the Florida Assisted Living Association, they're trying to do some online training. What used to be 8 hours of having to show up somewhere and get recertified or continuing education credits. We're starting to do a little bit more online training. So, trying to really earmark those people and say, hey, here's what I can do for you. Here's what we can do. We can come to your office. You can have 9 of your trainers. They're all usually different trainers for different subjects. You can have them all show up in one day, or 2 days or 3 days, and we can record all this. And then you on that end can start generating revenue by, putting these training classes online and obviously charging people for, to take the training as they would if they were live. Right. But now it's online. So trying to look at those opportunities, but not taking my existing clients who I know are hurting and saying, hey, listen, I'm going to give you a COVID-19 special. Like I just don't, that doesn't feel right. It's not right. Yeah. And I think so I think, really taking a look at it from that perspective is important.
Well, thank you for sharing with us today. I know those are some good points and certainly going to be of great value to the people who are watching
I hope so.
today.
Yeah. So you're welcome. And I think in these times we just have to, keep our faith up as we're both great people of faith. And so, we put our faith out there and just say, lead us and guide us, and whatever we can do to help others, it'll come back sevenfold many times afterwards. So even what you're doing here, I think is special, and I hope others can appreciate that as well.
Well, thank you. And, it's just been an interesting time trying to give back and help however we can. So again, thank you. And
you're welcome.
I'm sure everybody's going to enjoy learning what you had to say and putting it into practice.
I appreciate everything.
All right.
Thank you, and have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you, Regent. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.